After 10 years away from screens, Futurama returned with brand new episodes, and as a fan of the series, I was curious to see what escapades the Planet Express crew would get into. I, of course, love the Fox seasons of the show, and while I've noticed the Comedy Central seasons have gotten some backlash lately, I think those also have plenty of great episodes. So how does this new season stack up? Honestly, I thought it was okay, but there was something I found off about it. And then I realized what it was. Fry is only really the focus in 3 episodes. He's the main character of the show, and yet he's largely saddled with the B or C plot. Part of the appeal of Futurama was it centered on someone from the 20th century who winds up in the year 3000, and we see how he reacts to this strange future and how much life has changed since his time. At this point in the story, he's probably now accustomed to the future, but you can still build new stories around that. I'm just surprised at how Fry was mostly cast off to the side in the episode storylines, even in ones where he is the focus. In the first revival episode, Fry decides to binge watch a bunch of television series. However, he's largely under machine through a good chunk of it, while we follow Bender and Leela. Speaking of Bender, he also only gets a few episodes to shine. A lot of the time, he's sort of in the background with the occasional joke here and there. Something that stood out to me in this season was the emphasis on topical episodes. Topical humor has always been a part of Futurama. The show has often used the wacky futuristic setting to make jokes about modern culture. Remember the episode where the Omicronians are fans of an Ally McBeal type show? Momcore is also used as a commentary on mega corporations, so it makes sense they would write an episode that used Momcore to poke fun at Amazon and its dominance. In addition to that, the season also had episodes specifically about streaming services, the pandemic, and cryptocurrency. I understand why they wanted to do these, but I also hope they've gotten those types of storylines out of their system after this season. This is Futurama, so more often than not, you could find a few chuckles per episode, and there were even a few that approach classic Futurama. I thought the best episode of this season was the Zap Brannigan episode. While it was partly about cancel culture through Zap's storyline, it still felt like an episode that could have been made during the Fox seasons. Zap's plotline did have a good number of funny moments, and Leela taking over his position, with Fry and Bender by her side, also resulted in solid bits. There was creativity in the planet they visited, as well as commentary on the Space Federation taking advantage of those aliens with a so-called peace treaty. The jokes did build, and the story flowed naturally. The other high point of this season was the Christmas episode, which brought back Robot Santa and even delves a bit into his backstory. There are some fun time travel shenanigans involving Farnsworth, Zoidberg, and Bender too. The previously mentioned Amazon episode also had its moments, with its commentary on people's over-reliance on the company for their shopping needs, and I also liked Bender's storyline of feeling more welcome working in that warehouse before things take a turn. 2 episodes were definitely the weakest for me. One was the Crypto Wild West episode, which just bored me. I did not find the plot threads engaging or funny, and the Wild West planet setting did not lead to inspired gags in my opinion. And then you had the anthology episode. I've really enjoyed prior Futurama anthology episodes, like the What If Machine and the Saturday Morning Cartoon one, but this was just bizarre. The bridging segment with Leela falling in love with a prince was odd, and during the anthology portions with the characters depicted as toys, I kept thinking, what is going on? Even by Futurama standards, that was a crazy episode. I have seen some comments regarding the voice cast, specifically Billy West. Yes, Zoidberg and especially Fry do sound different, but that's only because West is 71. He's not going to sound the same as he did 20 years ago. Even the great Mel Blanc, you'll hear a noticeable difference between his Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck in the 1950s versus the 1970s. As for the rest of the characters, I did not notice too much of a difference in how they sounded. Katie Sagal in particular does not sound like she's aged a day since she first voiced Leela. Overall, this new season of Futurama has its moments, but I think the writers are still trying to get into a groove. It's been 10 years since anyone has written for these characters, so I want to give the show a bit more time to figure things out. Not all revival is going to come roaring back with success, and it can be tricky to meet the expectations of the fans while taking the characters to new places. Despite my criticisms, I still think the next batch of episodes have potential. My main wish is that Fry gets a lot more to do, there's a better balance in topical humor, and the jokes could be punched up some more. But let me know what you thought of these new Futurama episodes in the comments, and thank you for watching.